What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of the Jericho Report Weekly News Briefing. It is Sunday, the 10th of April, 2022. Not a very eventful week this week, but I do got some news to give you. As always, the first link below will take you over to the Patreon post. That's where you can find all the madness. Big news this week, Shanghai still in lockdown. They're going to starve. Shanghai residents in lockdown with no end in sight. And we're seeing scenes like this again. Let me just play this for a second. This is what it looked like in the very beginning of the pandemic. The Chinese screaming from their balconies, trapped in their buildings. Another round coming around the earth. I don't know. Pelosi tests positive for... How could that be? She's fully vaccinated. Cases in D.C. surge. Put a link to this. Adam Schiff tests positive. Fully vaxxed and boosted. Look at that face. That looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger in Total Recall when they blasted out onto Mars. Put a link to this. What's going on? I thought the vaccine's safe and effective. Tracy Spencer, is that how you say it? Triple vaxxed Aussie journalist crushed by long COVID. This is a journalist who's been sick for like months and months and months on her deathbed, but triple vaccinated and boosted and all this. Meanwhile, back in the United States, Kamala Harris is posing maskless with kids. Posing maskless with masked kids. That's the way of saying only the slaves need to wear the mask. I don't know. I'll put a link to that. Joe Biden news this week. Joe Biden appears to fall asleep during commissioning ceremony. What? Put a link to this. Got a couple more on Joe Biden. Joe Biden repeats false claim that he used to drive a truck.
Workforce is getting older.
Not him.
Not that I am, but they are.
I used to drive a truck.
I used to drive a truck. It's a long story.
Anyway, the headline reads, Biden tells bizarre story about Big Mama, how he used to drive 18-wheeler. And Joe Biden, apparently, maybe he was just cracking a joke. What do you think?
My name is Joe Biden. I'm Barack Obama's vice president. And I'm Joe Biden's husband.
Or maybe he's continuing to lose his marbles. He seems to have dementia. Anyway, over to financial news. How the Dow Jones did on the week. Looks like on Friday it rose 137 points. For the week it fell 97 points. Pretty flat week for the markets. Put a link to the recap data. Egg prices soar as bird flu outbreak spreads. I didn't know there was a bird flu outbreak. Put a link to this from MSN. Meanwhile, check this out. Speaking of supply chain issues, our gears are still turning. Check it out. Global supply chain issues have stalled production. All inventory temporarily out of stock, says SK Tools. I'll put a link to their website. Walgreens starts rationing baby formula. Supply chain hits new parents. 29% top-selling formulas out of stock. Put a link to this. Out of stock everywhere. Shocking customer credit numbers. Credit card debt soars as savings long gone. Oh noes. Tell me it's not so. As Biden administration extends pause on federal student loan repayments. Don't worry about repaying that. Not till August. Paskey confirms Joe Biden is giving illegal aliens free taxpayer-funded cell phones. You don't mind, do you? Obama phone part 2. U.S. city approves funding for a potential pilot program to give universal basic income to transgender and non-binary people. This is out in California. So if you fit into that category, go get some free monies. Over in the UK, doctors to be paid for putting people on transgender sex hormones. That's taxpayer money funded. Put a link to this. And Apple, back in the United States, lobbies corporate world to denounce bills protecting children from body-altering procedures. I try to be tolerant when it comes to the transgender thing because I personally, I don't care. Man wants to be a woman wants to be a man, whatever. That's your life. But the way they're doing it with kids nowadays, sadly, there's more of that shit coming up. Over to New World Order and police state news. Vaccine news first. Appeals court reinstates Biden's vaccine mandate for federal employees. That come out April 7 from government exclusive. Put a link to that. Feds meet on potential need for annual COVID-19 vaccine. Be advised. Check this out. Here, let me just play a little clip. Listen up.
And COVID is critical because this is what convinces people to accept, to legitimize total biometric surveillance.
You get that? I'll put a link to the clip. This is the world we're living in, people. Barack Obama backs internet controls to grapple with the demand for crazy. Oh, we're all crazy conspiracy people spreading misinformation. Okay. Put a link to that. Elon Musk becomes Twitter's biggest shareholder. Good thing, bad thing? Are they going to bring back freedom of speech? I doubt it, because you have to remember, his girlfriend Grimes was up on stage wearing a mask in a music video before the pandemic even started. So don't tell me these people didn't know what was going on. In fact, Twitter fascists released statement. They don't care if Elon Musk is on board. They will continue censorship, and then Trump is not coming back and all this. Now, 3 U.S. officials tell NBC News, you want a perfect example of how the TV lies to you. Check this out.
They're also suggesting that Ukraine has biological and chemical weapons in Ukraine.
It appears there were no weapons of mass destruction. Anybody remember all that? Same shit going on now. They're suggesting things to push their, just a perfect example of how the TV pushes and the government pushes the agenda. Well, I don't have to tell you guys. You guys know all this already. Pete Buttigieg says prohibiting classroom instruction of sex and gender identity in kindergarten classes will kill kids. What? I got a couple more on this. Alabama governor signs bill criminalizing transgender healthcare for minors. Shout out to her, right on. And California Dem bill will allow non-citizens to become police officers. I had more stuff linked on the child transgender. I just booted it from the report because it just made me sick. Anyway, over to World War III news. First thing, more than 30 people killed. I think it's above 50 now. And Russian strike on train station in eastern Ukraine. How do we know we're being told the truth? I don't know. Put a link to the story. Biden calls to put Putin on trial for war crimes over Russia killings in Ukraine. Put a link to that. Ukraine shot down one of Russia's most advanced fighter jets. Put a link to that. Popular Mechanics. Poland open and ready to host U.S. nukes on NATO's eastern flank. U.S. nukes. Hey, Finland will be asking for total destruction of the country if they join NATO and make themselves a Russian target. Moscow lawmaker won all kinds of World War III talk this week. Let's see. Russian dancers renamed Ukrainian dancers. More changing of history going on. Put a link to that. U.S. says China would face sanctions similar to Russia for invading Taiwan. All over the place. Biden rebuffed his U.S. relations with Saudi Arabia and UAE hitting new low. That from Yahoo News. Out of North Korea, Pyongyang will not fire a single bullet. It sounded like good in the headline, but then the sister said South Korea is no match for nuclear-armed country. That from my buddy F-Town, Endgame, beginning of WW3. Definitely follow him on Twitter for updated World War III news. And U.S. Army reduces its numbers as it struggles to find recruits who want to enter the military under Joe Biden. Over to Earth changes in 2012 news now. Not so much big quakes in the past week. I got it set up for 6 points and above for the past 7 days. We had a 6.3 on the 9th, a 6.0 on the 4th. I'll put a link to the earthquake data. Haven't seen much on volcanoes lately either. AccuWeather warns La Nina to spark active hurricane season. That from Zero Hedge. We got unsafe levels of uranium detected in 2/3 of public drinking water in the United States, with Midwest and South most at risk. That from the Daily Mail. Methane in the atmosphere hits new high. Cow farts rising fastest rates ever. NOAA reports. Airlines canceled thousands of U.S. flights over the past weekend. I wonder what's going on with that. It has something to do with COVID or staff shortages, or maybe it's UFOs. Check it out. U.S. warship was chased by 2 car-sized balls of light UFO that dodged anti-drone weapons, claims TikTok filmmaker. That on April 4. I don't know about that, but Pentagon did release 1,500 pages of secret documents about shadowy UFO program after 4-year battle. I got another link on that. UFOs left radiation burns and unaccounted for pregnancies, new Pentagon report claims. Over to strange and bizarre news. We had the big shooting out in Sacramento. Police say 6 killed, 12 others shot downtown Sacramento. Put a link to that. Meanwhile, over in Chicago, you got this going on at a movie and dinner place. Check it out. Everybody fighting everybody. Tables and chairs flying everywhere. What? Ah! It's madness! It's madness in Chicago! I don't know where this happened at. Somewhere Popeyes ran out of chicken. This guy gonna go up and bust a cat for a chicken sandwich. I got a little clip on this. They got a chicken sandwich. Alright, they sold out. Give me your chicken sandwich. Give me a chicken sandwich. And somewhere on a subway, there's a guy and his girlfriend living in a tent, stealing breakfast burritos from passengers. Check this out.
Don't touch me, I'm hungry.
Don't touch me, I'm hungry.
I'm hungry, man. I need some food.
Okay, I'm gonna go get some food. Watch this. He needs some food, man. He's on the subway in the tent. Needs some food. My girl needs some food. Watch this. Watch what happens.
My girl needs some food, man. Can you help me out? Come on, man. Don't be like that, man. For a lady, man. What's your problem, bro? For a woman.
This world, I don't know what it's coming to. And imagine driving down the highway. It's right pouring down rain, windshield wipers on, and you see this going on. Look at this. Imagine what happens if he hits a pothole or something, right? Look at this guy. Look at this. What is going on here, people? You're going to kill everyone on the highway if something happens. Put a link to that. Ugly teens brawl, tennis brawl erupts after teen slaps player. I blame this on Will Smith. Let me just play this for you real quick. Shake hand, good game. Now smacks him in the head. I got a couple more here. 2 agents posted, okay, these guys, if you heard about this story, they pose as FBI agents or some sort of government agents giving gifts to Secret Service. This story is all messed up. This is all over the media. I don't know what's going on. They were living in like a high dollar, this is some straight up stuff going on here. And male birth control pill, 99% effective on mice. Human trials start soon. For all the news, check my favorites. The DHL plane skid off the runway and crashed, broke in half, broken plane. I trust my government to explain this. This is an old video actually from government testing that happened in St. Louis. 2 men posting as federal agents. There's a follow-up on the last story I talked about. Body cam shows tasing a woman in Florida. Walmart drone footage of Shanghai. 26 million people remain locked down. Definitely check my favorites for fresh news. All kinds of fresh news over there. Thank you to everybody who keeps posting content, keeping everybody up to date on what's going on in the world. I've clearly had too much caffeine tonight. Okay, over to shout-outs. I got a couple shout-outs. Shout-out to citizens in Hollywood who saw a man abusing a dog and beat his ass down on the street.
A citizen's beat down in Hollywood after a group of people say they witnessed a man abusing a small dog on a leash.
Shout out to the citizens who took action. Shout out to the guy down in, I think this is down in Louisiana or something. This guy rigged up flashbangs because he's tired of people breaking into his car. So that when someone breaks into his car now, it sucks, he's got to buy a new window, but the flashbang goes off and poof, right now. Cops advise people not to take matters into their own hands. And shout out to Governor Ron DeSantis. No one should be denied the choice to have family president in the hospital. Today signed the No Patient Left Alone. I'm not going to go too far into this because I'm just going to get upset and depressed. A lot of you guys know what happened to my mom recently and the fact that we couldn't be there with her in the hospital. Shout out to Ron DeSantis changing things at least down in Florida, making sure people can be with their loved ones when it matters. That's all I got for this week, guys. If you like the report, please give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. I think it sucked. It's the worst of YouTube or Rumble or BitChute, wherever you're watching it. Just please rate the video. Share the video. Pass it around. Make people aware of what's going on. You can also support me on Patreon or DonorBox. These reports are always free, but I appreciate any support. Need it now more than ever. Also follow me on all my links, my Rumble, my BitChute, my Twitter, my Gab, Facebook. All the links are always at the bottom. Tell me your thoughts. Again, not too exciting of a week of news. We're kind of in a lull right now. We're just waiting to see the next shit that comes around. Is it going to be another variant, another lockdown, or is it going to be more World War III, or is it going to be something else we haven't seen yet? I don't know, man. The world is definitely interesting. There's definitely a lot going on. You guys take care, stay safe. Thank you for hanging out with me for a few minutes. Have a good week. I love you very much. I will see you on the next one.